I am a mistake of nature, a mad beast. This was said by Andrew Chikatilo during his trial for 52 cold-blooded murders. Why, people ask? Maybe it was from life experience, or maybe he was born that way. Either way, I consider Andrew Chikatilo one of the worst, ruthless serial killers in existence. Whether he was slaughtering an innocent child or a helpless prostitute, he had no sympathy or conscience when doing it. Andrew Chikatilo is the true definition of a sociopath. I'm here to inform you about the horrific upbringing, even more disturbing murders, and the final execution of Andrew Chikatilo. Andrew Chikatilo was born on October 16, 1936, in Rostov Oblast, Russia. He was born with hydrocephalus, which is a fancy way of saying water on the brain. This birth defect causes urinary tract issues and impotency. His genital urinary tract problem made him wet the bed constantly, which caused his mom to beat him in periods at school to taunt and humiliate him. His impotency directly links to the rage he derives while helplessly slaughtering his victims. One of his first memories as a child was, according to Tripod, his mother filled his head with bedtime stories of an ill-fated brother, Stephen, who was cannibalized at the hands of starving Ukrainians. This happened during war, because there was a war going on in Russia at the time. This first cemented the idea of cannibalism in Chikatilo's mind. His first sexual experience was at the age of 15. He went into the woods with a girl and tried to rape her. In the struggle to overpower her, he ejaculated even before sex. From this point forward, he always associated sex with violence. His sadistic nature quickly developed. Andrew became a teacher at an all-boys school and would force himself on the little boys and molest them. Molesting and raping was never enough for him. He always had the thirst for blood. Even though it took him 40 years to do it, Chikatilo finally acted on his sick obsession. Her name was Lica Zakotnova, and she was only 9 years old. Andrew had a secret shed that he built specifically for his rape victims. He brought this poor girl here on the date of December 22nd, 1978. He tried to rape her, but because of his inability to get an erection, Andrea went into a rage. She tried to fight back, but he viciously stabbed her to death. This instantly brought him to climax due to his sick fetish. She was thrown into a river and found on Christmas Eve by the authorities. Another man of Alexandria Krzyzkowo was blamed and convicted of this murder because he had a pedophilic past. Chikatilo's second victim was a 17-year-old prostitute by the name of Larisa Tkachenko. He brought her into the woods to strangle and rape her, like most of his other victims. According to Bess Gore, Andrea Chikatilo was unable to achieve erection, so she started to mock him. As you can see, this is a sensitive subject for Andrea Chikatilo, so yet again he went into a rage. He took a stick and violently raped her and consumed her whole breast while she was still alive. She ended up bleeding to death and was thrown in a river. The murders only progressed until eventually he had murdered 52 different victims. Some of the other methods of killing included strangling to death, stabbing, drinking their blood, mutilating their genitalia and anus, and chewing on their remains like bubble gum. He is most infamous for gouging his victims' eyes out. He had a superstition that a killer's image is forever imprinted in somebody's eyes once they're murdered by them. So he would take the eyes and dispose of them. These shocking and terrifying crimes went unserved for 15 whole years. Even when his blood was taken, it did not match the blood of the semen from the other victims, from his victims, in and around his victims. According to most notorious, Chikatilo's blood type was A, and his semen was AB when they finally got it checked. This was a 1 in a million chance for that to happen. He out of all people, happened to have it. Eventually, on the fateful day of November 20th, 1990, Andrea was arrested and taken into custody for his murders. They found him covered in blood at a train station the same day another victim went missing. It took the authorities 8 days to finally get him to admit to the 52 murders he committed. He acted out all of the murders for them so that he could remember for them. His trial was on April 14th, where he was infamously locked in a cage in the center of the room. He was uttering startling, strange remarks and thrashing around in that cage, almost as if he was a wild animal. He was found guilty on October 15, 1992, and sentenced to death by gunshot behind his right ear. The town of Rostov was finally at peace, though his grim stories will always haunt that town. Andrei Chikatilo's childhood, ruthless killing, and sentence to death all contribute to these surreal stories. Being educated about the acts of serial killers is important to warn everyone about what kind of messed up people there are in this world and to promote safety. His sociopathic ways broke up families and mentally disturbed many loved ones of the victims. The fact that Andrea has no remorse is sickening in itself. I guess there really are monsters out there.